how the internet may be used, and discuss the reporting of legal citation as it relates to reporting transcripts. Guys, I think I mentioned to you, you guys are at the cutting edge of technology, okay? When I got out, and I've told this story 100 times, I guarantee it, but I mean, we didn't have the references that you guys have. That internet is a wealth of information. You can find out anything. People's names, addresses that you don't even know, medications, places, cities, zip codes to cities, states, cars, clothing lines, vehicles, anything you can find out just about on the internet. You know, and you can even ask, you know, these phones, well, how do you spell Chevrolet? And it'll tell you. It'll come up. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, so I mean, there's a wealth of information, and you guys, you know, like back when I was taking depositions, and I took a deposition of a doctor, and I've told y'all this story too. I mean, I'd have to call the HEB pharmacy, but I'd have to wait till the very end so that I don't make 19 calls when they're, you know, he's talking about these procedures or this medication. You know, and it's like, they said Xanax. I think it's Z. No, it's X. What? You know, and the first time I called, you know, was to a HEB, you know, pharmacy. How is it Z? No, X. No, Xanax. Yeah, X. No, Xanax.
Are
You know,
sure?
this guy's
Go
like,
check the
I'm
bottle.
gonna hang up on you. So, but I mean, you type it up now, and you can type up Xanax, Xanex, and you can do it on Google, and it'll come up. Oh, did you mean Xanax? Pretty cool stuff. So you guys are, I mean, there. The court reporter's reference library. Reference books that a court reporter may find helpful in researching for the record are listed in this section. Make sure that you always obtain the most recent edition for any of the references listed. Guys, and there's all kinds of stuff out there, and going to these seminars are fantastic, you know, and you guys are really lucky because usually you can get your mentor to pay for it, you know. And don't get these guys to pay for it and it's like, I just want to get away. No. Use it as an opportunity to go and learn something. Because you can even walk around in those, you know, in the various little not cubicles, what are they? Kiosk or whatever that they have. And I mean, just see some of the stuff that they have. And they have books like, you know, 1 word, 2 word. Is it 1 word or 2 words? Well, I mean, this book will tell you. And references like that, phenomenal for stuff that, I mean, you never had you had no idea, you know, would be. So it's pretty cool. Unabridged dictionaries, Webster's Third New International Dictionary and Random House Dictionary of the English Language. Guys, just the newest edition of Webster's Dictionary. Great. But I'm telling you, like this chapter, we don't even need it. You have Google. You can Google anything. You know, any word. And I hadn't heard this word in years. And was doing a transcript today on an appeal, and the guy said druthers. What? Druthers. No, it's a word.
Yeah, if I had my druthers, I would have had bourbon instead of scotch.
So it's like choice, isn't it? Does it mean choice?
What you would rather have.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it means like choice or something.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Right now.
huh? But I thought the guy was saying brothers.
A person's preference in a matter.
Yeah. So it's a personal preference. So, and then the guy was asking, well, if you had your druthers, you know, would your son go live with your mom or your brother? Well, what does his brothers have to do with it? So you see how you can confuse things, you know, without knowing the difference and not ever having heard it. So to read stuff and look at stuff and listen to stuff, you know, different things, and, you know, just keep abreast of different things makes you so much more aware, and how easily, you know, you could have messed that transcript up by putting brothers. Brothers. If you had your brothers, would your preference be to go live? Well, what is his brothers? He didn't even have a brother. He's the only kid. Oh, his druthers. Yeah.
Did the lawyer say that, or did?
The attorney said it, yeah, and was asking the parent, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Hmm?
I always thought druthers was like vernacular. I didn't think it was a real honest to God English word. But
Yeah.
now I know.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I had heard it once before, and it's like, then it came back to me when I looked it up. It's like, oh, yeah.
Well, considering selfie has just been added as an official word to the Webster's dictionary.
Selfie.
Selfie just got added. It's a word now in the
Yeah, I can
dictionary.
see.
But I'm telling you guys, the Google is amazing because you have Urban
I was
Dictionary.
gonna say, I was laughing at the
You
one
have
with
the Urban
dictionary of
Dictionary.
urban slang. I was like, I think that's Urban Dictionary pretty much now.
Where's that?
And the topical dictionaries, Dictionary of American Slang. I
Yeah.
think that's now become Urban Dictionary.
And it is. It's an Urban Dictionary. And I think I told you guys I took I was doing an appeal a few months ago or a month ago or whatever, and the guy said AP.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this medication, when she's off that medication, she goes AP. What? I don't even know. So, you know, I Googled it and you know, Google had, well, maybe this way, maybe this way.
A-P-E-Y,
So I went to the Urban Dictionary and it's APEY.
like an 8 foot.
But you know, if I was just gonna do it, which I did in the thing, you know, just to kind of keep moving, but I put APIE. It's like, that doesn't seem right. Well, it's, you know, the red line, you know, from taking Eclipse, if it's not spelled correctly, it puts a red line under. It's like, well, so you can do Alt-S. Alt-S brings the word up, you can choose the word, and then it has
So
a
they can go to
definition.
Google search them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
But
seen
you can
that.
even do the Google search in Eclipse. So, and I did the Google search with the Urban Dictionary, and it's APEY. Unbelievable. So, you know, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, guys, because, I mean, dictionaries, you're not really going to need them. Okay? Legal references, I mean, you may need like legal references because, like, every now and then, you know, my judge will cite something in the Texas Family Code. You know, but you know what he's reading from. Texas Family Code section 263.104 states blah, blah, blah. Subsection I states whatever. So you go in and read it, or they cite cases. Well, in 431 Southwest 3rd, 261, it says HTE, INRAE, HTE. What? Southwest 3rd, HTE, INRAE, what? You know, and if you've never heard INRAE, you know, which is in regard to, but and that's what they say, INRAE. INRAE? Who's Ray? I don't even know Ray. There's no Ray in this proceeding. You know, so you have to know these things to know what they're talking about, okay? And you don't want to put IN
R-A.
capital REY or RAY in Ray. Really? You know? So you don't want to make silly mistakes like that, okay? But any of these books, Black's Law, Cochran's Law, West's Law, you can find all of that stuff on the internet. All of it. You know, and you can even, you know, and I've even done that. You know, and he said, you know what? He cited a case, it was 463 Southwest 3rd, 471, INRAE, HTE. What? So I just Googled it. 463 Southwest 3rd. And the way that they do Southwest 3rd is totally different than what you would think it is. You know, it's not, you know, Southwest one word, 3rd, you know, THIRD or 3RD. It's not like that. You know, and you know, you kind of have to look it up. It's South It's big S, small w, I think. Small WD. It's SW,
What'd you say, Southwest?
yeah, Southwest Third. Just do like 468 Southwest Third. And it's, 468, capital S, small w, and then it's 3D. So it's not like how you would think it would be. Yeah. But like back in the day, like the grammar stuff is good. Grammar stuff, and you can even do it. You can Google 1-word, 2-word stuff, all of that. So, Google is going to be your best friend. Trust me. Trust me when I say that. But they have it down there. It's AltaVista, Excite, Web Crawler, Lycos, Google, InfoSeek, Yahoo, Ask Jeeves, Dogpile, Locate. So all of the, unbelievable, wealth of information on that internet. So as long as you have internet access, you're golden. If you don't, then you're gonna wanna buy all those books.
Well, nowadays, you can find a lot of these in PDF files that you can download. So
Yeah.
that if you need them, they're there.
Yeah.
And not have to Google search for
Mhm.
them every time.
Keep them on your Kindle.
How did it come up?
It actually didn't come up, I tried to come up with something else.
And that's the way it is. It's like 468, capital S, small w, 3D. So that's Southwest Third.
But you have to know how they abbreviate things.
Sure.
So that you know how to.
Yeah, and that's just it. And they talk about subsection I. Well, it's, parentheses, I.
It's
You
giving
know,
me a
that's
bunch of
just
different
I.
cases, it's giving me different case law.
Oh, is it? It's not how it's set up? Okay. And you're going to hear those a lot. On page 290 where they talk about appellate decisions. Everything that the judges rule on is from appellate decisions. It's old cases that, they made case law out of. You know what? Well, that case had bearing on this thing, and, we're going to change the law to conform to that because of a certain case. So it's appellate decisions in certain cases.
Yeah, I was doing it this way, you see on at the bottom of 288, the RS 9103 is what it was trying to come up as.
Oh, really? I was trying to see in here if they had it. If they had any reference points.
On page 291, there's a list of court reporting service systems.
On page 291, where it says Northwestern Reporter Second Series,
There it is, okay.
you know what? It's going to look similar to Southwestern Reporter Second Series, where it's Southwest, but I think in Texas it's capital S, small w, and then 3D, small d.
Yeah, that's what it was trying to do, it was trying to do that.
Yeah,
3D.
so it's Southwest Third. Any questions about that? I know that, there's a lot of information on there, guys, that you're probably never going to use. You're never going to use those books because everything's on the internet, and everything you'll be able to cite back, and if the judge says, you know what, I'm gonna go back to the family code, section 262.405. You can put that in there. You can Google it. Texas Family Code, section 2, and it'll bring it up and exactly what it says. It's amazing. It really is. So you guys are way, way ahead of the times. Okay, finding employment. Objectives. Discuss what is meant by the term job search. Discuss the various elements that go into making a good resume. Discuss the various elements that go into making a good letter of application. And discuss the important factors that should be considered in the interviewee at a job interview for a court reporting position. Okay? The job search. Whenever one seeks employment, whether for the first time or when moving from one position to another, it is important to conduct a job search. A job search can be defined as the active solicitation of possible employment limited to a specific geographic location and using the skills and qualifications of the searcher to the fullest possible extent. I think we all know that. Everyone's looked for a job at some point or another. You know, and you know, the internet is the best place. You know, you can find all of that stuff on there too. You know, so if you know that your husband or your wife is getting transferred to Ohio, you know, you can say, well, I'm gonna need to Google to see what the qualifications are for Ohio. Oh, it's nothing? It's nothing. Okay. Well, let me go on and see who's hiring. If there's a job, you know, I've been in the job field, in the court field for 22 years. So you know what? I want to try to get in the court field up there. Let me see what's open, if there's any openings or whatever. Or, you know, if I'm going to have to get on with a firm, you know, maybe just fill in at court. Or if I call the court administrator up there and see if I can just fill in at court. Well, who do I call? Or what do I do? Go to the internet. You know what county you're going to be in. You know what state, county, city you're going to be in. So you just kind of go to that. You go to the internet and do a search. You know, like here, it's bear.org. B-E-X-A-R. But if you don't know bear, B-E-A-R.org, I can't find that. Well, the internet's going to tell you, oh, did you mean B-E-X-A-R? Oh, it's Bexar. And you don't know how many times people, yeah, don't you live in Bexar? Bexar County? I live in Bear.
It's like when I first moved here and I was writing directions down for my dad, and it said turn on Days of Allah, and I wrote Days of Allah. I'm not seeing
Days of Olives.
Days of Allah. Oh.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was the Days of
Days
Olive.
of Allah. That's what I wrote.
Or Dave's Olive. I don't know. So you see how things can get jumbled around?
It's messed up my transcript.
You know, a lot of this stuff that we're going to go over right here, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with it, is common sense, guys. You know, just like the first one. You should attempt to answer this question. Where do I want to work? Seriously? You're going to know this already. You know, do I want to do freelance? Do I want to do official? Do I want to do cart? You know, what do I want to do, you know, with this profession or, you know, whatever. So you're going to have an idea. You know, and it goes all the way down to 3. Once you have determined where you want to work and the type of work you want to do, the next important step is to compile a list of places where you can work. Okay, well, I've never worked in court, so I don't want to move to a new region where I really don't know anybody, and I'm just going to get myself thrown into court. I'm just out of school, and they require real-time writing, and, you know, it's a district felony court that does capital murders and stuff. Okay, I don't know that that's what you want as your first job. You know what I'm saying? But if that's what you want to do, you may look a little silly, but, you know, so always, you know, and that's what they're telling you here. Just know your limitations and what you're looking for and what's going to be suitable for you. After listing several possible places of employment within a given location, the next step is to evaluate these places. Do you have any openings? Do they have full-time or part-time employment? Are reporters considered employees or independent contractors? And these are some important questions that you should ask, whenever you go work. Okay? Are your court reporters considered employees or independent contractors? That's very important. What are the benefits? How much work can they guarantee me? Will you be able to make a living working for this agency or court? How many other reporters are in the firm or agency? What type of boss will you be working for? Will you be required to buy expensive computer equipment and software? And are there any other personal considerations that you feel are necessary in making your decision? Now that you have searched out the best possible places for employment, now you can send a resume and letter of application with the goal of obtaining an interview. That's self-explanatory, okay? The resume. The resume is a summary of one's experience, education, and qualification for a particular job. Resumes may be prepared in a variety of fonts and styles, especially with access to desktop publishing tools and word processing software. 1. Print your resume on good quality bond paper, at least 20-pound weight. If color paper is used, select a soft pastel shade, off-white or gray color, avoiding bright neon colors. So you don't want to pick a piece of chartreuse paper to put your resume on.
Exactly
Okay?
what I was going for.
You can, but just keep it professional. Like a what do they call it? Eggshell or a beige, off-white, even a light gray, whatever, something that looks professional. I was always told, when we were in school and otherwise, even in high school, that you always try to keep your resume to one page,
Yeah.
if you can. If you just have extensive history, that you think is going to help you try to get this job, and it goes into 2 pages, then it does. But you always try to keep it to 1 page, keep it concise, and to the point, okay?
Well, I know that people who have a lot on their resume, they customize several resumes,
Yeah.
depending on what job.
On what job you're looking for,
And they're not
absolutely.
gonna list certain qualifications if it doesn't pertain to the job
Mhm.
they're applying for.
Yeah.
So then they just customize, they have several resumes.
And I'm not putting it down, but I don't think you need to put on there that you were a cashier at Valero,
Right.
and you're trying to get a job at court.
Also, that was the only job you ever had.
Yeah, and if it's the only job that